Jeanette Walkman here. Today what we're going to be looking at is designing. And I'm going to give you the basic instructions on how you can apply some design projects for your students. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify what we use for designing. And we're going to be using some lines. Straight, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, wavy, curvy, zigzag, and spiral. Now, these are what you want to work with. Scribbling is not designing, no matter who says that. So, we're going to be doing a project called Bug Ugg, and it's one of my favorite ones. And don't worry, you'll be surprised how well you do. So I'm going to be looking at an insect, and here's one example of this is what I'm going to show you how you can accomplish. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold a piece of paper in half. We want to make a symmetrical shape. And for kids, put a little X on the one fold, a little X on the other. And the reason you want to do that is if they put the X's over here and they cut, they have two pieces. So I'm going to do a bug, ugh, and I'm designing, and here has some wings up in here. So once you've done that, you're going to take and you're going to cut it out. Now, by the way, I want to just mention to you that a good system for helping kids cut is outside in. You're going outside in, outside in, and it makes it a little bit easier for them. Now, once you have your strange little bug, looks more like a bat, doesn't it? So you take this, you put it on your paper, and you trace around. So all you need for this project is a scrap piece of paper. You need some white drawing paper, a pencil, and a Sharpie. But I'm going to add another section because you look really bad. Here we go. And some antennas, little antennas over here. Once you trace, you then take your Sharpie, and of course, there's different sizes. This is the fine point, which I like to work with. And this is a really super Sharpie. I think the fine point is good. Okay, it's still working. So what you do, you take and you trace around using the tip of your Sharpie. And this one's going out of ink, of course it is. So guess what? We're going to go back to this one using the tip. There we go. Now, I'm not going to finish this completely, but I'm going to show you how to start. So I'm going to break it up into sections. Okay. Kids do neater than I do. Now what I'm going to do is, when you're going to do some designing, you have a shape here. You're going to take it 3 or 5 times from edge to edge. 1, 2, 3, and what you can do is change direction, and then you can fill in. So let's try this. I'm going with a straight line 3 times, going this direction, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and I'll say to the kids, is that right? And they'll say, no. I'll go, why? And they'll say, you have to finish at the edge. I'll go, all right, so that they understand. And in here you can add other patterns. You can add dots, you can add zigzags, and what you do on this side, you need to do on this side. And what we're looking for is a balance of the black and white area, the positive and negative shots. So let me show you. As you can see, if you look at it from a distance, you can see that it feels balanced by the symmetrical quality. Now let's take a look at the elements that we've used in this project today. If you take a look, we have used lines, we have made shapes. Form means it's 3D, we didn't do that. We didn't use color. We don't have light, medium, and dark value, but we do have artwork that looks like it has texture, and we're doing with 2D work, flat, but we're working in positive and negative shapes. We do have patterns, and the emphasis is on the bug. Symmetrical balance, and the only other one you might consider is, oh, we have proportion. We want our bug to look like a bug with all the shapes, and we have a variety of patterns, and it looks like it's completed. So that's how you can tell, and that would go in on your worksheet right here. In there, you just circle these, and they write down your project steps and the materials that you used, so you can reference this a little bit later on. So these are themes that you can use in your disciplines. You have math, social studies, science, and language arts. So in this here is examples. Some of these images here are examples of what you can do in some of your disciplines. Obviously, we have our bug UG for science. We have our patterns for math. We have the hand, part of the human body, for patterns. And I especially like the idea of, in language arts, you can have the name, and kids love to write their own names, with all these designs around it. And here is my favorite little project of starting young little kindergarten kids off with having the designs here and doing the loopity-loop and filling them in. And over here, it's called a transition project. Let me talk to you what it's about. What you have is, you should have an art center. I'm going to talk about art centers throughout the course, on this online course. In an art center, you can name it what you want to, you should have a series of lines creating interesting shapes with a Sharpie next to it. And the student will come up, and this is when they use their imagination and creativity, and they'll look at it, and they'll decide that this is a dinosaur. No, it's my version of a dinosaur. And it goes down like this. So what happens is, after they draw it, what you say to them is, what is the story about your creature or your dinosaur? Where is it? What is it doing? So they have to draw the story. And the more details they have, the more they think about the story, the more it supports their language and the language arts area of storytelling. So what we've covered today is designing. Now your project will be this. You will create 2 pieces of artwork, okay? And each piece of artwork needs to reflect a theme in the disciplines. Make sure it's 2 different disciplines. And you will be able to look on the website, on the art department. You will see a lot of themes there, and also there's other resources that will support you in what we're doing. So, for right now, go designing. Thank you.